Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where we've landed here at Minmus. We need to extend this ladder, and then we'll have Hadgard hop on out here, although let's go ahead and grab our Mystery Goo observation and our material study from here. There we go. And then we will collect all of that. Most of this data isn't going to get us very much, right? We already know that. We'll hop on in with another surface sample here. We'll collect all of that. Of course, we can land in other biomes. That's definitely something we can do. But we'll come back out here again. And I want to just make sure. Yeah, we're good. So Hadgard hops out. Climbs on down. And we're going to grab a tiny bit more science here. It's emphasis on the tiny. This is like minuscule amounts of science. Like, I probably shouldn't even bother doing this levels of science, if I'm honest. We're going to keep those experiments, and we're going to collect that data. And we're going to restore these again. And then we're going to climb back up. And we'll hop in. And those are now stored here. So we'll hop back out again. And it looks like we have all of the science we can get from here. So that's good. We'll close the service bay, and we will go ahead and store our parachute. I guess we never gave Bill his stuff back. That's fine. Here you go, Bill. You can have this stuff. Perfect. And we're going to grab the ionographer here. I want to go over our inventory here in Hadgard. There we go. So down we go. We are only about 20 meters away from our base is our landing site, so that's actually super good. I'm pretty happy with that. We could have landed maybe a little bit closer, but in all honesty, I don't think we want to. I know it's not really a thing in Kerbal, but, you know, blowback and all that. This is probably a little unsafely close in terms of, like, real-world applications. But we'll hop in over here, and we're going to drop our ionographer. We can drop that right here. Hadgard, why don't you go ahead and take down Bill's... Well, this actually isn't Bill's flag. You know what? This flag is better than Bill's flag. We'll let Bill deal with that. Let's head back, Hadgard. Your work here is pretty much done. So we're going to head on back here. And we will hop onto the ladder as soon as we can, which is... We went through the ladder without being able to hop onto it. Okay. That's exciting. Maybe due to the angle. Let's come in at a slightly different angle. There we go. Excellent. So up we go. And we'll make sure to grab our EVA pack. Well, technically this is Bill's EVA pack. But we'll make sure to grab our stuff so that we don't run into that display bug. And hopefully we won't teleport. Perfect. And now we'll have Bill EVA. Bill will need to store his stuff as well. And this is all fine. Oh, right, the weather analyzer. I actually completely forgot about the weather analyzer. We could have Bill set up the weather analyzer, I suppose. It's not perfect, but, I mean, that thing can't run here anyway, so it's maybe not the worst of concepts. We'll let go, and over we head. We can't see very much because of the camera in the rocket, but now we can. Perfect. So we'll set up an RTG over here just so that we have some power when we're in night here. That'll be fine. This location is just fine. So this flag is better than Bill's flag, huh? Well, Bill disagrees. He is taking this flag down. And he is going to hop over here. Just repositioning a bit. He's going to set up a new flag here. There we go. Perfect. Bill's flag is best flag. There we go. Good job, Bill. And he's actually going to put a plaque in here for once. And he's going to say, if anyone removes this flag, their flag will receive -20 flagginess, rendering this flag still superior. I don't know what flagginess is as a stat, but apparently Bill believes that this is a stat. So Bill's going to head on back. And we'll climb up here, and I guess we'll send Hadgard out again. That'll be fine. Okay, Bill, there you go. Up you go. And we're to climb in after retrieving our stuff this time. I'm going to try not to forget that in future. There we go. We'll retrieve that and retrieve our parachute. EVA pack, parachute, good to go. Okay, we'll board, and Hadgard needs to go drop off the weather analyzer because he's not sure that there's no weather here. It's hard to tell. It's very hard to tell. He'll store his equipment here and grab the weather analyzer. How are we supposed to know that there's no atmosphere here without the weather analyzer? I mean, sure, we've got a barometer in this service bay, but... See, the thing about that is Hadgard never actually learned how to read a barometer. So he just assumes that it's black magic, and the only way that he can tell that there's no weather here is by putting a weather analyzer station. I'm not claiming he's the finest of scientists, but he's what we've got. So we're going to drop off our weather analyzer here. Wait for that to start on up. But would you look at that? There's no wind. Huh. Experiment situation invalid. Well, now Hadgard knows that there's no atmosphere here. Good for you, Hadgard. I mean, how are you supposed to know if you don't run the experiments, right? That's Hadgard's philosophy anyway. So we'll grab onto this ladder. Okay, Hadgard's ladder climbing skills are spicy. There's no doubt about that. We're going to give him back his EVA pack and his parachute as we climb up. And we'll hop on in here. And I believe we're done here. Let's go ahead and extend our solar panel. Let's see. Yep, there's an ionographer from the moon. And we planted our flag on Minmus. And our contracts should be complete. Yeah. So we are completely and totally done here. We did lose this photovoltaic panel due to Hadgard, like, teleporting into it. But that's fine. This solar panel will suit us just fine until we get back to Kerbal. So at this point, this all looks good. I think we're completely fine here. Let's go ahead and throttle up, and off we go. We're going to head over towards the horizon. I'm interested in seeing what our apoapsis is currently. Honestly, this apoapsis is probably good enough. We can grab another mystery goo observation and material study here, and we'll call that good. There we go. We'll retract this ladder, and what's our apoapsis at? Oh, only 5 kilometers. I guess I'm still used to Gilly. Sure. We'll retract all of these ladders. And now our apoapsis is just fine. So we'll just go ahead and raise that up, circularize up over here. And then we can do our normal return trajectory about at this periapsis, I think. Am I oriented wrong? No, about at the apoapsis. No, wait. Over this way. Okay. Sure. Actually, at our apoapsis is about the correct time to burn home. So we can combine those burns. Yeah, this is perfect. I didn't plan that. It's just a happy accident. That'll do. Okay, go ahead and align to that maneuver node. We don't need these landing legs anymore, so we'll retract those. That's an awkward direction to be facing. We're not going to burn that just yet. And I bet we're too low to time warp. No, we're not. Okay, we're able to time warp. Well, goodbye, base. I don't plan on ever coming back to you again. Cool. So this is going to burn out all of these tanks. That's completely fine. We fully expect that. We've got 138 meters per second here, plus another 1264 in this particular tank here. So we're going to burn this shortly. Here in about 10 seconds. In fact, now. There we go. And off we go. We're now officially in orbit. And we're heading home. Wonderful. So we're going to ditch these side tanks as soon as we can. We could probably recover them. We could recover them. We'll give it a go. I'm 100% certain that we can recover them. Okay. How's our periapsis looking? Good enough. Wonderful. So we're going to head on out to our Minmus escape. About 2 hours there. 40 more science from the moon. Hello, moon. Thanks for the science. So that's great. We are about to do that Minmus escape here. We'll go ahead and warp a little further forward so that we're properly in space high over Kerbal. There we go. And now we know we're going this direction. Let's go ahead and focus on Kerbal. That was actually on the ComSat. Let's focus on Kerbal here. And sometime around, well, this ComSat is at 100 kilometers. So when we cross this, we'll go ahead and do our radial retrograde burn. And we'll bleed off quite a lot of speed and make this reentry a lot safer. Not calling it safe, just calling it safer. We can have it be something like this, but I'd prefer it to be around 30 kilometers. So we can continue to retrograde burn that. And we've got 1193 right now. So we can then bring this up to 30 kilometers like so. And then we still have enough for a potential re-entry burn plus a landing burn. Should be fine. We'll go ahead and close the doors on our Science Junior. We'll align to that maneuver. And we are homeward bound. There's Kerbal. That is, of course, where we're going. We're going away from it right now, but we'll get there soon enough. Don't want to be in target mode. I want to be in surface mode for right now. Cool. 50 science points from Minmus and 40 from the moon. That's wonderful. Okay, so here we are. We are getting in position for our burn. We're going to retract this solar panel. We're not going to need the power for re-entry, so that's fine. We'll warp forward about another 40 seconds here. Okay. This is maybe a little high on the burn start, but I think it's good. Like, it'll be fine, right? I'm pretty sure this is fine. We'll go ahead and move these guys up here so that we send the parachutes next. And we are decelerating. So we're bringing our apoapsis back. We're already past the moon orbit here in bringing that back. Great. And this is going to be a bit of a lengthy burn, so let's go ahead and physics warp that. We're going to burn this attitude until we hit the atmosphere or the maneuver burns out, whichever is first. Not sure which is going to be the case here. Looks like we're going to hit Atmo for... Well, actually, this is radar altitude. Let's go to sea level. I think we're going to hit Atmo first. Oh, we fully burned out. I didn't expect that. This is still saying that we have Delta V. Okay, it must have bugged because I didn't get rid of that, but this is, I think, okay. What is our actual periapsis here? Oh yeah, this is fine. We're not going to have a problem with this. We'll just plop over to surface retrograde. We are now in the atmosphere, and let's go ahead and physics warp. I'm hoping that we're not going to have to do 2 aerobrake passes. We shouldn't, in theory. Hey, we can run an atmosphere analysis. Do it. Okay, we got that. We'll go ahead and collect that data. We could do another atmospheric analysis here. That was desert. It wasn't the best, for sure. There was a better one. Okay. Did we collect that? Okay. That's deserts. I think we're fine over waters, right? You know what? Let's just say we're fine. This is just scraps of science. I'm not too concerned about this science, in all honesty. So we're currently only moving at 2.3 meters per, or kilometers per second, rather. 2.3 meters per second would be insane right now. But no, we're moving at 2.3 kilometers per second. So that's really not too bad as far as the overall speed goes. And time to periapsis is increasing, so we are not coming back. This is not a second aerobrake pass. That is always good. To be clear, I didn't really expect that it would be, but it was a slight possibility. Overall, this is looking fine. We're decelerating reasonably quickly here. And we're not going down super fast either, so this is all good. This looks like a reasonably safe re-entry. If we really needed to, we could jettison some bits here from our lander, but I want to recover as much as possible. We do have these screen messages, of course, that we can get rid of. There we go. And we are on our way to impact. Periapsis here is down to 10 kilometers. We're no longer at orbital velocity. And we can see that our landing here is going to be coming in fairly soon. We are actually burning off some ablator here, which is kind of funny. Currently traveling at about 2 kilometers per second, 40 kilometers up. So yeah, we have a lot of air between us and the ground here. No problem whatsoever. I don't think this is an issue. We're not even seeing any heat gauges. I'm quite pleased with this reentry. This is going very well. We could grab an atmospheric analysis here. That's complicated to do right now. But I suppose it should be shielded in there, so let's grab that. And we will collect any of that data that we can. We can grab another atmospheric analysis. But I don't think we can collect that. So we'll reset it. And that'll be fine. We're down to 1.8 kilometers per second here. We are still a bit of a ball of plasma. There's no doubt about that. This is grasslands and highlands. Okay, actually we don't have highlands, I don't think. So let's see if we can find the experiment storage unit. There we go. We got that. 30 kilometers above sea level, and we're traveling at 1.6 kilometers per second. This is fine. Our aerobraking is absolutely grand here. No problem whatsoever. We're going to be splashing down in the ocean, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, impact biome water, and that's going to remain the case. Basically, no matter what at this point. We're actually not very far from the KSC. I like it. That does mean that our recovery will be more valuable. We can see the KSC from here, actually. It's right over there. Yeah, not bad at all. So, we are decelerating here. We no longer need our SAS on at this point. And we're going to tumble a bit. That's fine. We just want to tumble how the aerodynamics want us to go. Cool. Nose first? Well, that'll change. We're going to fire our drogue chutes. Maybe. Deploy. Okay. I believe that deployed our main and one drogue chute. That's exciting. Hey, come here, drogue chute. Okay, SAS, stop it. There we go. Deploy the chute. Perfect. That was exciting, to be sure. At this point, we can physics warp, and SAS can go off. We don't actually care too much about... It really wants to flip over like that, huh? Even with the pull from the parachutes. Once they open, I suspect that will change. And we can open up our service bay here and run our atmospheric analysis here. Not like it's worth much, but we may as well. Okay, we'll physics warp down a bit, and I do expect to get yanked around once the chutes open. I'm actually going to turn on the SAS and try to go to retrograde, just to lower the G-forces of that a bit. There we go. As expected. So we'll warp on down towards the surface. And that was a very successful flight, all things considered. Not perfectly successful, but it went pretty well. We're coming down at 13 meters per second. We'll see if anything here gets broken. Actually, I think it was fine. I don't think anything broke. So that's perfect. We're okay with tipping over. That's fully expected, and we'll recover this vessel. So how much science are we actually going to get from this? I don't expect it to be too much. Most of the science is going to come from the surface-deployed ionographers, so it's probably not going to be all that much. Let's see what we've got. 85.1. Okay, it's not awful. And yeah, no XP gain either. We are out of contracts at this point. Extract ore from Minmus, huh? I don't know that that's something that we're going to do right now. Enter the atmosphere of Eve. That's almost certainly not something that we'll do. Map 7 asteroids. So how exactly do we do this mapping process for the contract? will happen passively over a length of time as long as any active sentinels are near the specified orbit. They do not need to be newly launched. You will receive progress notifications, so this will just automatically happen. Okay, we'll accept that then. We already have one of those telescopes up, so that's fine. At this point, I'd like to hop over to our science stations and see how they're doing. I'm not sure if they are full on science or not yet, but let's just see. Because we're going to want to transmit that science back pretty much no matter what. What do we got here? We're running low on data, so we're going to have to come rescue these scientists eventually. They're still researching. Okay. How much data do they have left? Can we make this go faster with time warp? No, that doesn't seem to change this. Okay. So we've got like 9 data left. Okay, we'll transmit this science for now. And this does go faster if you time warp. So that's great. We'll transmit that data, 312 science added, and then we're going to head over to Minmus here. Wait, this is at Minmus. We're going to head over to Moon here, and let's see what we've got going on with this science station. So we'll switch to that, and we'll see how much data we've got left here. We'll have to bring back our scientists eventually, and probably end up scuttling these stations. And the way that we're probably going to do that is crashing it into the ground. Hello, Bill's flag is best flag. We're probably going to have to crash it into the ground to make sure that we get some seismometer readings, and we may do each of these separately. We'll see. We'll see how that ends up going. For now, what do we got here? Okay, we're basically full on science, so we'll transmit that. And they've got a fair amount of data still at the moon. Sounds good. So transmit that science on over. 80%, and done. We'll hop on back to the Space Center, and that'll be like another 800 science. So that's great. That's like 10% of what we needed to max out the tree. I would like to see a contract pop in for going to Ike. I would like to do that too. Oh, it's very dark. Okay, this is actually a bug that happens sometimes. The lighting didn't load in properly. Luckily, I know approximately where everything is, so that's the VAB there. The mission control is up here. I would really, really like to see a mission to go to Ike. Sadly, there is no such thing. We'll hop into the R&D. And I don't think it really matters what we take here. So we'll just get a couple of these. Actually, we're going to grab hypersonic flight so that we can grab aerospace tech later. We don't need it, but that just unlocks it. So we now have everything available to unlock. We're going to need like 3,000 plus another. We need like 4,100 science left. So we're very, very close to getting all of the science unlocked. That is perfect. I think our next mission is going to be a quick science gather jaunt to Ike. And that is going to be exciting. I don't think that we really need to redesign our current lander system. I think that would work just fine for a jaunt to Ike. So we can open that up. We are going to have to change out what's contained in the container module, of course. So for that, we would want this to be... Well, we would want an ionographer. We would want a communitron. We would want a Guab ED monitor. A passive seismometer, ideally, although we could drop that and the weather analyzer if we don't have enough room. We need an experiment control station, and then from there, it's just power. So RTGs produce the same amount of power as photovoltaic panels, but they don't actually require... Hang on, I'm just wondering if these actually require sunlight to work. We could just bring like 2 photovoltaic panels and an RTG just to lower the cost a bit, because RTGs are a lot more expensive. There's no doubt about that. So we could bring something along the lines of this, and this should be fine, right? Each of these requires one power, rather, and as long as we have an engineer level 1 putting out our power stations, this should be fine. So a single trip to Ike would get us all of the deployed science there. And that should honestly be enough to max out our tech tree. Maybe even just with what we bring back from the lander. So we'll go ahead and save that, and that will be a job for next episode. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including Casserole, Sigma162, JJ Gamer, Spartan News, Rose Valentine, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.